Welcome to the Press Toward the Goal podcast. The A-League, Australia's pre-eminent football competition, has gone ahead in leap and bounds over the past decade or so, in no small part thanks to the influx of talented international players who have raised the standard of the competition. One of those players is Brisbane Roar legend Henrique, who joins me today. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jason. Very much looking forward to this conversation. I appreciate your introduction. Let's have a good chat.
Yeah, very good. Well, I'm excited to speak with you. Is it Henrique? Is that correct pronunciation?
Oh, look, if I want to be very specific, it's Henrique, but I know it's very difficult for English-speaking people to pronounce that, so I'm fine with Henrique.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. And you have another name which you're well known by in Australia, which is the slippery fish. How did that nickname come about?
Oh, look, this was in Brazil, sort of nickname, but translate to English actually became a little bit, funny. Sleeping fish. But I guess that's what it is. I have no other, sort of where this come from.
Yep.
But yeah, I like it. That's so good.
Yeah, you've embraced it and running with it, so that's good.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, we're going to let our audience get to know you a little bit better. So I've got a few quick fire questions here for you. What is something that you can't leave the house without?
Interest. I normally I just with my khaki because
Quite practical.
very practical. So I don't have other belongs that normally I take with me. So I normally ask God to be with me whatever I go with. So that's mainly what
Yep.
I do.
Yeah, very good. Now, with your phone, are you an Apple man or an Android phone?
Apple man. So
Apple
it's
man.
very handy to have everything stored in one place.
Yep, very good. And what's the most used app on your phone?
Uh Actually, interesting. I'm not a very social person, so even in social media. So I don't know, to be honest. Oh,
Yeah,
I would say Instagram, but I don't really use much.
yeah, I had a previous guest on one of the previous episodes. I don't know if he was trying to get some brownie points with his wife, but he said he used his messaging service to message his wife all the time.
Oh, no, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. I speak a lot with my wife, so I don't really have to message her
Yep.
as much.
Yeah, fair enough. What's something you eat or drink too much of?
Rice and beans.
Yeah.
To eat and to drink water.
Yeah, I love water myself. Can't get enough water, especially in the hot climate coming into summer now.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Who was your football hero when you were growing up?
Oh, I have some. Obviously, growing up in Brazil, so and my first football memory was in '94 when Brazil, won the World Cup, and back then we had Romário, we had Bebeto, all the old generation, and plus the Ronaldo was just starting playing as well, so was in the World Cup as a young player. So yeah, those sort of player was. Not hero, but someone that I aspire to be like with.
Yeah, perfect. You know, it's funny you say that because my first football memories as well, I'm a big football fan, was Brazil winning the '94 World Cup, and Romario as well was my favorite player when I was growing up. He was a
Well,
great player.
unbelievable player. So, I try to copy all his movements as
Yep,
young.
very
Yeah.
good. And do you have a piece of sports memorabilia or something which you would find very hard to part with?
No, not really. Not really. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, nah, no, not really.
Okay, very good. So you did mention there, and I'm sure that many of our listeners will be familiar with the fact that you are from Brazil, an absolutely football mad nation. So what was your childhood like with football? What was that, just something which everybody did as a youngster?
Yes, yes. It's a good question, this one. You know, as you say, football in Brazil, it's a massive. We don't play just for the money. Obviously, that's something that everyone just plays young, and you play on the park, you play on the beach, you play pretty much everywhere. That's easy as well. So you only need a football and a couple of mates.
Yeah,
So uh, but as things start to progress, then you start to look, okay, yeah, maybe I can make, and then things start to get a little bit more serious.
yeah. So how old were you when you would have started kicking the ball around with your friends?
Oh, look, my mom said that I was very premature, like really, really young. So I would say with 2 years old,
Wow.
I have some, some ball with me and knocking down and have some scratches because of the football.
Very good. And were you always sort of somebody who had above average ability? Did you develop a talent early on? You thought, hey, I'm pretty good at this?
Look, up to date, I was an average player, to be honest. I was just smart to understand what was required. So I never thought I was, above everyone. I just understood better what I had to do and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, uh, playing, not professional, but playing organized football, you need to understand what's required.
Yeah.
So, and I was very smart to understand that pretty quickly. And that was the difference between me and some others.
Yeah. So it came naturally to you playing the positioning and everything like that.
Exactly, exactly. In fact, that obviously in Brazil there was plenty other players better than me. So, but as I said, they did not understood what was required to play in organized football, professional football.
Yeah. Well, you must have still been all right because I think you were 14 when you started your youth career with, I'm going to try and get the pronunciation right here, America Mineiro.
Yes, no, that's very good pronunciation. Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, look, I started that club when I was 11. So, but obviously at the age of 14 was probably my biggest move when we play a tournament and a club in Europe spot me as a young
Wow.
prospect. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much when everything started to become really, really serious. And me and my family, sort of thought that okay, maybe that's something else in here that we can pursue.
Yeah, beautiful. And you mentioned the European club. Was that Feyenoord?
Yes, correct. That was
Yep.
fun. Yeah.
And you moved to Netherlands, did you, when you were 17 or 18 years old?
Yeah, 16. So I moved
Wow.
there. Obviously, back then we could not stay outside of Brazil before the age of 18 for too long. So I went there and, I had the experience there and came back to Brazil. Uh, Obviously, my club in Brazil didn't want to sell me and, I signed my contract, my first contract then in Brazil. Uh, it was an opportunity that I would love to have taken, but, I'm happy with how things progress anyway.
Yeah. So how long were you in with Feyenoord for?
6 months.
Yep. And
Yeah.
did you move there with your family?
No, I had to go by myself. So was me and three other players that was the sport as well.
Oh wow, that would have been interesting. How did you manage being away from your family and integrating into a new culture and everything at such a young age?
But that's the beauty. You do what you love. You don't really think too much. You just want to have the experience. Obviously, going out from your hometown, your country, without speaking the language, it's a challenge.
Yes.
Challenge. But we were three of us or four of us, so all young. We just want to have the experience, and at that age, you don't really think too much. You just want to go there, eat, sleep, and play.
Yeah, I suppose that you would have thought you were living the dream at that stage. Playing football, what could be better than that?
100%. Watching Champions League games and watching some of the biggest players in the world, outside Brazil, try to make your first step into professional football. You don't really think too much. You just get on with.
Yep. Yeah, but you said you returned to Brazil and you signed a contract there with your local club, was it?
Yes, correct. America. So, which is a big club as well. So, I was happy with that. Obviously, a little bit frustrated because when you experience the top level of football, you wanna continue that, but also happy to be back at home and with the family, friends, and sign my first professional contract. So that was all right as well.
Yeah. Did you think when you did sign that contract, obviously football is almost like a religion, I imagine, in Brazil. Did you think at that stage, wow, I've made it? And was it a little bit like you were a local celebrity almost there?
Yes, yes. But that's when things start to get a little bit interesting because, when there's such a young uh, person and you have all that hype, uh, I guess that mixture it's not sometimes good for a young person to have. So that's when things start to get a little bit interesting.
Yeah, what was there anything that kind of kept you grounded, or do you think that it did maybe get to your head a little bit and you did get
Oh,
a bit?
nah, I will say that it did get to my head a little bit. As normal.
Yeah,
Uh,
of course.
So you're such a young and you sign your first professional contract. Everyone want to talk to you. Everyone knows about you, and you know, uh, some one day you don't have much, and the other day you have pretty much a little bit, and things change very quickly, and you don't know where you stand with that change. So I guess that's normal. That's part of the process, and but nothing too crazy. Obviously, my mom and dad was very strong and firm with me, but it did
Yep.
change a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, very good. And you were with that club for a few years, and then an opportunity came with Brisbane Roar where you went almost on a loan or a trial type arrangement.
Yes, so I stay at American Mineiro for uh, all up was probably 12 years.
Wow.
But after I signed my first contract, the contract was for 5 years. After that, I went on loan to a few other clubs. And when my contract finished with America, I was about to sign one good contract as well in Brazil. I was performing really, really well. And I came to the Roar on sort of long trial here. And that's when pretty much life changed for me and my family. And I love the story from then on.
Yeah. So how do you so I imagine an agent or somebody contacts you, says, "Hey, do you want to go to Australia? There's a club over there interested in you." How does that come about?
uh The Raw fans will remember Reinaldo, the big striker that scored a lot of goals here. He
Yep.
was from Brazil, so we played together for many years in Brazil. So we came from the same club, junior
Okay.
club. So we were very good friends at that time, and he contacted me and one other player to come over here. So it was two visa spot available. The club wanted to pursue different ways and he introduced us to the club. The club liked and said, "Yep, we are happy to pay everything for them to come and see here. We see them and see how it goes." So yeah, we was invited, and so I was fortunate enough to perform well. I liked the club. The club liked my football, and I stayed.
Yeah, I think that it's pretty fair to say that that you liked the club and the club liked your football, because you did end your career with the Roar as the second leading scorer in the history of the club and collected a lot of accolades and 3 championships along the way. But we'll go back to the start of that journey. Did you speak any English when you first came to Australia?
Not at all. Not
Wow.
at all. So that was look, the reason why I sort of decided to accept the challenge was, and again, going back to early days when I signed my first professional contract, and when I said things change a little bit in Brazil, so I was kind of looking for that challenge and life changing situation. And when I came here and saw everything, so I knew that this city, this country, and the club would provide me that opportunity.
Yep.
So I took with both hands, and
Yeah.
and that's why I always, when I step into the field, was more than just football.
Yep.
Was everything else. I knew that if it was just football, I would stay in Brazil. But when I came here, I made a decision in my life, or in our life, me and my wife, to change everything we have done in the past.
Yep.
And obviously, on the pitch was one of them. So I had to change my attitude. I had to change the way I approach the game. And that's what I've pretty much done here.
Yep. And how did you integrate into a completely different culture in Australia to what you would have been used to? How did you integrate? Obviously, with the football club, there was the football side of things, but the rest of your life and your family and everything, how was the integration with that?
To start with, on a football side was very good. So the like Brisbane Roar was fantastic to us. We had a very good group of players at that time, and obviously Ronaldo at the club helped me a lot.
Yeah.
We also had a Brazilian general manager at the club, so that helped me a lot as well. So forever grateful for what they've done for me. But outside was kind of, because we had a lot of Brazilian friends as well. So nothing has changed too much, I guess. And that was one of the reasons, as well as outside was a bit hard to integrate for the first year or so, because obviously I didn't speak English when I came here, and speaking only Portuguese outside the club
Yeah.
didn't help. So, but I was fortunately that after 2 years, I sort of changed that as well, and start to learn more about the country, the city, the people here, and make myself more valuable to speak English, because uh, like doesn't look like, but I'm a very shy person. So, and take the away from me, and speak a different language, make a lot of mistakes. Wasn't easy, but I put myself out there and try my best.
Yeah, that's excellent, and that would probably be a bit of a surprise to Raw fans, because on the pitch you're so outgoing, you are involved in everything, almost the life of the team, and then off the field it was like a different persona.
Yes, yes. But that's what people don't really see too much, and I guess now with this, football shows that sort of give the fans an opportunity to know more about the personality behind the scenes.
Yeah,
Obviously, when we step into the field, we have to, not become a different person, but we have to put everything out there.
yep,
And but outside, that's a completely different person. So some different the others, but everyone has a different personality.
yeah. And on the pitch you express your personality by scoring goal after goal for the Raw. In 2011, the grand final at Lang Park, which I think has gone down in Brisbane Roar history as the first championship. 0-0 at full time. You'd come off the bench as a substitute. 2-0 down with 4 minutes left of extra time, and you pop up and score a goal to make it 2-1, and then a late header sees the game finish 2-2 at the end of extra time. and it goes to a penalty shootout.
Yes, a very good story for myself personally. Even better. Obviously, everyone remember this last game, and I won't take that away. But for me, the season start well before that. So I was starting pretty much my first full season as without injuries and things like that. So I started the preseason really, really good, playing very good football, and 3 games into the season, I broke my arm. And not many people remember that. So third game into the season, I broke my arm. And then it was a long process to recover, pretty much 4 months out. After that game, the team started winning, without me. And as I say, that's a lot of challenges along the way. And
Yep.
this was my first one here in Australia. A lot of people say, yeah, Brisbane Roar doesn't need you anymore. You can go back to Brazil.
Wow.
All that sort of stuff that goes behind the scene. And, I always work hard in silence. I knew that my time will come again.
Yep.
Gave the process the time to do itself. But that particular game was a completely highlight to me because, you know, coming off the bench at that game, uh, you sort of ask why I'm on the bench. I was coming back previous 5 games and was performing really, really well. I had a chance to start on that game, but you don't really understand why things happen the way it happened. Anyway, so I started on the bench, 60 minutes. I was brought onto the field, nil-nil. If you remember, I lost the ball into one of the Mariners' goal as well. So I
Oh,
was the person that lost the ball. They score from there, so and to be able to score the first goal and then Patalo scored the equalizer and then go to the penalty shootout and I scored you know, the winner was a dream come true and a reward for everything that I was doing behind the scenes and a testimony as well. So that if you work hard and if you do what you're supposed to be doing, things will happen.
yeah, that's great. I don't think anybody cares that you lost the ball. Maybe if it led to a Mariners goal, because like you say, you did score the winning spot kick. Such extreme pressure there. When you walk up to take the spot kick, what are you thinking? Did you have some sort of preparation or something that went on even before game day, where you were kind of preparing mentally for that sort of moment?
Uh, yes, and no. So, in a sense that obviously, to get to that stage, you have practiced that so many times that you know exactly what you have to do it. So, it's a moment that a lot of people get the pressure getting to people's head, and for me, was the pressure that I always wanted to be. You know,
Okay.
so you kind of like you block it out everything you stay in the moment, and the moment is you're gonna take a penalty. Sure, nothing else. That's
Yep.
not important. What the occasion is. That's not important. How many people are in the stadium? That's not important. What's gonna happen after that? The moment is I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna take my penalty shoot, and if I do the things that I normally do every day, I will score the goal. And then what comes after that, it's a reward.
You make it sound so easy.
Look, as I say, and as I say, I like to study the game, and one of the things that I always look up was, other players' testimony as well, not just in soccer, but in basketball, and you kind of like you understand that the moment it's more important than in the occasion, and
Yep.
when you understand that, it's make it easier. It's and what could happen? I would miss the penalty, and that's it.
It's
It
true.
is easy. When you
Yeah.
think that way, it is easy because what else? I will miss the penalty. It's still going on, and nothing will change.
Yeah.
And we score. Yes, we win, but we win. So
Yeah.
you kind of like you have to stay in the moment. Don't think about anything else. And
Yeah.
whatever comes in your way, that's a bonus.
Yeah. So you started that grand final on the bench. The following year you started the grand final that year, and then you were subbed off. What is harder? Where are you more nervous? Are you playing the game you're more nervous, or off the pitch?
Uh there are two ways, as I say. When the first grand final, when I was on the bench, I kind of like knew what I had to do. So I was on the outside studying the game and kind of like preparing myself. If I come on, this is what I'm gonna do. All right. So in the second grand final, when I start on the game, so that's the preparation for the game. You know what the opposition might do. You know what you have to do it. But then that's a completely different when you are in that situation. So
Yes.
things change and you have to adapt. So and you have to adapt in a game. Obviously, that grand final everyone saw was, very tough grand final for us. All the players that started in the game obviously was a different condition, so the pitch was very drowned. So we had a concert, I believe, in that week, so the pitch wasn't the greatest.
Okay.
Which favored Perth Groy at that time. But to come away with the victory as well was really good.
Yeah, two championships in 2 years, and then 2 years later, 1-0 down against Western Sydney Wanderers. You come off the bench, and what do you do in that grand final, that championship?
Yeah, look, as I say, I was very fortunate to play in a playing group that was a fantastic on the field. Off the field, everyone had, as I say, different personalities, but on the field was fantastic to play with a bunch of players. You know, and that's why we made the history that we made. So was just me, was the whole lot, but I was, I say, I was fortunately that God looked at me in a different way and gave me the opportunity to showcase not just me, but things that I do outside the pitch, the way I do it, which sometimes can be hard and not many people understand. But you know what? I follow, I follow my heart. I follow the rules that I have to follow, and I'll I do what I do, and as I say, I get the rewards that that's there for me.
Yeah, so you scored the match-winning goal in that match as well, and you referred earlier to your football IQ and your kind of reading of the play, and I was watching highlights of that match the other day, and when I was watching, I just thought you just knew what position to put yourself in. You found the space, and that was a perfect example to me of just knowing where to be at the right time.
And look, that's really good. Your perception is exactly right, spot on. But as I said, for me, the most important thing is not the actual result. It's what's come behind.
Yeah,
I knew before the game that I would score the winner again. And
wow.
I say that to the players, and now obviously all of them laugh at the
Yeah.
time. Like, oh, come on, you're not gonna score the winner again. I say, yes, I will. Uh, and when that happened, it was just an explosion. And
Yep.
if you see my celebration, you're gonna see I never celebrate like that before. And when I scored that, it was, as I say, was something that I believe I have my beliefs, and you know, at that moment, I knew that I have not just in the. I'll talk you through the whole thing that happened at that time. So the ball came in the air. I challenged the ball with probably the tallest player in the league, and I won it. So in the air, uh, the ball was going to the touch line. So one of the players cut it back, and instead of going towards the goal, I stay in the penalty spot. free for
Yep.
some reason. No one marked me, which is unbelievable. And I control the ball perfectly, and I find the only spot that the goal could could go in. So, as I say, it's me there, but I believe that I was chose to be in the right time, in the right spot, and do the right thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Why were you so confident? How did you know that you were going to score the winner again?
Look, as I say, if we do have a time, we're gonna be here for more than 2 hours because a lot of stories behind this. People don't, and that's why for me it's not the actual result. In that season, I didn't play many games. All
Yep.
right, so I didn't play many games for some reasons. That's it's not important right now.
Yep.
Uh, but I was always ready and focused. But there was one particular game when I didn't came on in that game. So I was very frustrated. I knew that I could help more than I was doing at that time. And all the games after the final whistle, we normally went to do a lap around the field and clap the fans and talk with the fans. And at this particular day, I was very frustrated. So it was 6 months before the grand final, and I find one Brazilian guy in the stadium that I never met this guy before. And I said I will stop here because I'm very frustrated and I don't want to talk with anyone else. I will stay with this guy here. Obviously, a very selfish reason. Uh, and later on, I found out that that person was a pastor and was from Brazil. That went to the stadium to pretty much meet me at the stadium.
Wow.
So we had a conversation and we stayed in the stadium for 40 minutes talking. And he actually said, you know what, if you do the right things will come for you. And I believe that in a grand final, you're going to score the winner goal.
Wow.
So I was like, wow, yeah, you know what? You're tricky, but I'm very upset here. So I'll keep talking to you. So yeah, but that sort of message came to me 6 months before. And
Wow.
after that, I changed a few things and I start to play a little bit more and all that kind of stuff. And as I said, I knew it would be fun again that I would score the goal.
That is amazing. Were you a Christian or a person of faith before you had that conversation?
Yes, yes, I always Brazil, it's a very faithful country. You don't always understand, but obviously that's the journey that everyone goes into
Of
it.
course.
Uh, as you get older, as you understand more and more and more, you know that everything happens for a reason.
Yep.
So you know, I always believe in Jesus and all that sort of stuff. But obviously, as I'm getting older, I'm understanding more and more and more what's important to me, to my family, what we have to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's such a great story. I'm glad you could share that with us. So I appreciate that. You were with the Raw, left them in 2016, went to Malaysia and Thailand, and also Adelaide United.
Yes, yes. Uh, that was the decisions that you have to take. Obviously, I didn't want to leave the role at that time, but I knew that I have to leave in order to change the perception of not the fans, not some people at the club at that time. So what a decision that we took. I had an opportunity to leave uh, in January that season. Before that I left,
Yep.
but I decided obviously the club said no, and I stay. I gave my heart out for the club, so we made the same final, and we almost won the league that year. So, but the decision was made well before. Was just unfortunate that last minute I took the decision to go to Malaysia. Not that I didn't like the country, but obviously football wise, I could have chosen a better country to go.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so you mentioned early on in one of the championship winning years you had a broken arm, which kept you out for a long time. You did have quite a few serious injuries over the course of your career, didn't you? I've got a little list here. So medial ligament injury in 2009, broken arm 2010, knee ligament 2013, knee reconstruction 2015, medial ligament 2016, and then a groin injury just before you retired in 2019. How did those injuries affect you during your career? Was it, I mean, it must have been so disheartening whenever you got injured, you couldn't pursue what you were doing and contribute to the team.
Exactly, and that's what comes down to what I believe. So have that belief in me and in Jesus helped me a lot all the way. Uh, I always knew that things happen for a reason. Obviously, a lot of those injuries I could prevent in some way. Some of those, nothing I could have done
Yeah,
to prevent. But that's a process that every sports person will have. So injuries happen. Nothing that concern me more than that's an injury. So what
yeah,
can I do to fix it? I will do it. But rather than that, I understand the process. I understand. I'm a person that I'm not so much about what I could have done. You know, I'm just the person that what I will have to do now and stay in the moment. Stay in
yeah,
the moment for me. That's the most important. That's something that I learned from the Bible. There is no past and there is no future. That's only right now. So
yeah,
yesterday I can't change. Tomorrow doesn't exist.
yeah,
What I have to do today.
yeah.
Now,
That's a great attitude. Um, so when you retired from professional game in 2019, you had spent pretty much your entire life as a footballer. Um, your identity was almost as a professional footballer your entire life. How did you deal with retirement? How did that affect you when you lost the routine and the discipline of training and the team environment even?
uh, was hard. Was hard because at that stage I didn't plan to stop a day. I probably was thinking about probably another 2 years and then finish my career. But the injury happened, so I wasn't enjoying the football that year because of the injury. So that made the decision for me. But as I say, uh, I'm very fortunate that I've got a good family. My wife always support me in anything I've done it. I've got God beside me, and I know that everything happens for a reason. So I knew that I would be successful in any way that I was doing after that. Uh, so straight after I decided to become a coach and pursue another opportunity. So Comer offered me, the opportunity for me to start again, and I'm always forever grateful for what they've done for me. And but I believe that also God gave me that opportunity. So finish with the Roar and come to such a beautiful club where we have such a beautiful persons there. It's a great match. So I believe that I say was the time was right, the opportunity was right, everything come together perfectly.
Yeah, that's great. And are you still coaching? You're still involved with football now?
Yes, yes, I'm still a Kumra, the technical director here, a Kumra, and love my time here. It's a beautiful club, 700 members. the club that want to progress and grow for the community. So, I'm the right spot for me.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I guess that football's in your blood, so it's not something that you would probably ever be able to give up entirely.
Yes, yes, I say I love, and in particular now here in Australia, I would like to give back a little bit what Australia gave to me.
Yeah, perfect. And you are an Australian citizen now, so I imagine this is home. This is home for you and your family now.
Yes, yes, we love, yeah. We love Australia, we love Brisbane. But you know what? We never know. So
Yeah,
we've got our families in Brazil, and our kids now start to growing up. So they have to spend some time with the family, understand what's important to them and to us. It's all about family, so we want to pass it on to them, all the values that we have with us.
yeah, that's great. Um, Speaking of family, you're part of the Brisbane Roar family forever, life membership of the club, I believe. And I have some listener questions from people who would probably consider you part of their family for what you did for the club. So I've got one here from Joe Curtis on Instagram. And Joe asks, what key professional lessons did you take away from working with Ange Postecoglou?
Oh, look, a lot of lessons, a lot of lessons. One, and the most important was what professionalism means, actually. So uh, everyone thinks that professionalism means just playing a professional club, being on television, and with him, actually, I learned what that word means. It's not just come and train and go home. You have to give your best all the time.
Yep.
So that I learned from him. So was open eyes to have somebody back then that wasn't very famous. Was probably his first or second professional club. With that determination and ambitions. So I learned a lot from him.
Yeah, that's great. And he's obviously gone on to great success in Japan and now in Scotland with Celtic as well.
Yeah,
And
was never in
Socceroos.
doubt. Was never in doubt, to be honest.
Yep.
I'm not sure what the perception was before the time in Brisbane. So I never knew. I don't watch TV, so I don't watch many things. I didn't know nothing about him, but as soon as he stepped into the club, I knew that he was different. So
Yeah,
it was not a surprise for us.
yeah, very good. Thomas Simfield on Instagram asks, who was the most underrated player that you have played with?
Underrated. Oh, I might miss somebody here, to be honest. Uh, I would say myself. No, I'm just kidding.
I've got that on recording now.
Look, uh, there were a lot of people that helped us along the way. I remember Shushak when he stepped into when De Via left the club, he helped us a lot. I remember Son Lozano also helped us a lot in the first championship. So there was a lot of players that didn't get the credit that they did deserve.
Yep.
Uh, Obviously, and I understand that the media have to pick certain players to talk about it.
Yeah.
That's normal. Uh, I'm never too fussy about that. As I say, I had my moments, but also there were moments that I thought I'm doing actually really well, and people don't talk too much, but
Yeah.
that's fine,
Yep.
not a problem.
Yeah. I guess the other one that kind of come through from our listeners was, can you pick one single biggest highlight from your time with the Brisbane Roar?
Or I would say three, if I can.
Yeah, of course.
the moment that I signed the contract with the club, for me was, massive. The moment that I renew my first contract again, and the day I left. So everything else in between, as I say, it's consequence of
Yeah.
those 3 moments.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Very good. I finish every conversation which I have with one big question, and I want to ask you. You're a Brisbane Roar legend. Many associate you with what is arguably the greatest A-League team in history, but how does Henrique want to be remembered?
Oh, someone that always was respectful to the club, to the fans, and to the people. Someone that always gave everything for the club and for the fans. No more than that, to be honest. As I say, there are a lot of more things that people don't really know about me. I'm, a very family guy. I love my friends. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. But I know that what stick to the people, it's what they saw. I wish everyone knew me personally. They would see a whole lot more. But that's what they can take out from what they saw from me.
Yeah, I from our conversation, I kind of concluded myself that it wasn't about the on-field achievements for you. It was more about you as a person, the way that you conducted yourself, and just what you've described right there.
Yes, look, thank you. As I said, I wish that I had the personal contact with everyone. Everyone knows me, and I know a lot more people. But you know, everyone have their lives, and everyone's busy doing what they have to do it. So. But I always wanted to have that personal contact with everyone. So either before the game, after the game, know a little bit about everyone else, and that's the kind of person that I am.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I feel like we've learnt a lot about you, so people will know you a little bit more from our conversation today. And I appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on the show.
Nah, thanks, Jason. I really appreciate. So anytime you need, please, I want to be here more time and talk more. As I said, I have stories for 1 week, 1 month. So anytime you need, please invite me, and I'll be more than happy to come back again.
Yeah, perfect. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Enrique.
Thank you.